Do you think Catholics do that thing where they like cross themselves before they eat ass?
Oh. Huh. I think.
Or is that only for like dinner time? Like,
yeah. Like,
what's the occasion?
Huh. So do Baptists like say grace?
Grace,
Lord, we sit down before this asshole, humble before you.
Just say grace and pass the maple syrup. Pass the jelly. Well, maybe if we got some Catholic listeners out there, they can clue us in after they listen to this installment of Dead and Lovely. It's the podcast you're listening to right now. Believe it or not.
That's us. Yep.
I know you thought you turned on Rush Limbaugh reruns, but...
That's our audience,
yeah. Man, it is such a shame that theme song is like burnt into my memory because of like riding around in my mom's Aerostar van listening to Rush Limbaugh.
I was gonna say, is that the theme song? Wow, yes. I can't believe you remember it.
I'm so happy that you don't know it. Like, it makes me happy for you that you didn't grow up with it, honestly.
Even as a child, I was like, that man's dumb.
Here with the host with the most, it's me, your good buddy, Uncle Ben.
And me, Hollywood Steve.
And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a deep dive into magic.
Yeah?
Magic.
You pulling your jick out and we're diving in?
Yeah, I'm pulling magic out on you guys. Yeah, exactly. We're whipping magic out.
Jick does sound like a just horrendous word.
It really does. Seems like I should be in trouble for saying that, right?
We're not, though. You can't get canceled just because a word sounds like it should cancel you.
Oh, okay. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
All right.
But don't go trying. I mean, honestly.
No, maybe just don't. Don't say that you heard it from us either. Okay?
Right. If you say it and somebody looks offended, guess what? You found a new word.
You're an entrepreneur, a discoverer, an astronaut of vocabulary. You didn't hear it from us. If you want to get straight onto the movie review portion, there's a timestamp for you in the podcast description. But before we do that, we're going to do some catching up and shit shooting like we do here on this show. We're doing a little double header action today, so we're just at all damn day trying to get ahead because I've got myself some very busy times coming up on me.
You got to go out on a boat and play a guitar.
Got to be boating, mashing ropes and stuff out there on old shipwreck cruise. So I've got a ton of material I got to learn, and that'll be a really good time. So things have been busy around here. So busy, in fact, that I haven't watched anything this week. Nothing.
Oh wow! Well, things are also busy over here, where we found an apartment.
You found one!
Hooray!
Did you go with the strategy we talked about, where you rode around in the car going apartment, and somebody like pointed you to one?
That kind of happened because it's on the way to Anna's work, and I just was like Googling those apartment buildings that I saw on the way. And
now, see, when you say it that way, it makes me think you drove by and like maybe one of the window blinds like winked at you, and it kind of gave you that "I want you inside me" look.
Yeah, that's what happened. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was like,
it was asking for it.
Okay, I'm coming in. So yeah, we found an apartment, and that's looking good. Except that, and this is wonderful. We have a bit of an overlap with our current place and that place with the move-in. So that's nice. It gives you a little bit of leeway and time with getting things moved. But also, I got a call from them saying, you've been approved, etc. You can come by and get the keys sometime this weekend. And here in Portland, it's ice storms coming. Boy, I'll tell you what, snow's coming Saturday. Supposed to be icy starting Friday night. Looking like the whole weekend might be a wash. So that's great.
Okay, look at it this way, though. Think about how much money you'll save on gas getting to and from the two apartments because you can just put the car in neutral and just slide the whole way. That's just resourceful.
Oh my gosh. So I did tell this story, I believe, last year around this time when we had a big snowstorm where I had gone to pick Emily up and she worked around this area where we're moving to, and it's all hills. And we turned onto a hill and got, I don't know, 100 feet up it, and the car just went sideways, and then a bus turned in behind us, and we couldn't.
Shit.
So yeah, getting out there is an impossibility when it's icy. But if we're already out there, hey, no problem.
Yeah, there you go, man. There you go.
So yeah, I'm that's taken like about 1 million pounds of anxiety off of my shoulders, getting that figured out, and then I mean, aside from the ice situations and whatnot, we'll get everything moved. It's gonna be done, and then we can just chill and know we've got a place for the foreseeable future, which is great. So
good deal.
Yeah, feeling a lot better. And then I went and watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, cool. You're having too good of a week.
Yeah,
that's good, man. You needed to bring yourself back down to being super fucking depressed, huh?
I mean, I said at some point, I think this is inexcusable.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like, whenever we saw it last year, I talked about it on the show. I was like, don't watch it. I will never watch that movie again, ever. I've talked to a few people since then that were like, yeah, I watched it. I thought it was okay. And I'm like, you're a serial killer. You're a sociopath if that movie didn't destroy you.
Right. Here's the thing is it's good storytelling.
There's some cool stuff in there, yeah.
It's just, I mean,
man.
You find out why Rocket is so bristly, but also, like, clings to the same people. And it's heart-wrenching. I hated it. I will never, ever, ever watch it again.
No, I see no occasion why I would ever watch that movie again. And it sucks because, like, I love the franchise and I love what James Gunn did for the MCU. But then that one is just untouchable to me.
No,
I have no idea when I'll ever want to see animals being tortured and experimented on and
killed.
Oh my god, dude. But like all the cool ass like Barbarella style sci-fi scenes in there, like when they're in that crazy ship that's all like it's like very like round and cloudy and puffy and they're wearing the color-coded spacesuits. Like that's so fun and so cool.
It is
I'd
cool.
love to revisit that. Maybe there's going to be like an edit that cuts out all that stuff.
Yeah.
All the bad stuff.
That's just like Rocket's, somebody's just like, hey, Rocket, why are you the way you are? And he's like, it's complicated. And then they're like, okay, cool.
All right, then. That's fine. Anyway, space stuff. Jeez.
Yeah.
I'm glad it had the same effect on you because we watched it in theaters and it like ruined our week.
I thought I was prepared because of what you said. Like, I really thought going in, like, fuck, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just, like, prepared. I know there's going to be some rough stuff. I was not prepared at all.
Whoa.
Anyway, I watched a movie called Upgrade, which Anna had been wanting me to watch. And, boy, it's cool. Like, techno horror type thing directed by Lee Wanell. I enjoyed it. I don't want to... Honestly, don't want to say too much about it, but the techie bits were cool. The horror bits were cool. Very enjoyable.
Kind of Black Mirror-y or what?
Yeah, that's what I'd say. It's like, but with like awesome action. Like, so it's like a tech horror action film.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm on board.
Yeah, it's cool. We watched V for Vendetta.
Oh, it's been forever since I watched that.
Boy, I'll tell you what. Christo-fascists taking over, like after a plague. Doesn't sound familiar.
No, it doesn't ring a bell. I can't think of how that could ever be relatable. So this is just entertainment.
Oh man, V for Vendetta is great. I like it. It was obviously talking about a dystopia of Christo-fascism, and it's very hard to watch now, I think, in some ways. Yeah. There's some things that's just
here's
like,
the thing.
Oh,
what
close.
if we took all the great minds and great sci-fi authors that write these dystopian future stories, right? Mm-hmm. What if we just totally blacklisted them, never let them make another dystopia again? Because it's obvious what's happening is people are reading these things and getting ideas for how things are
Oh, yeah, because they're not creative. They're idiots.
No.
Yeah.
But they need the instruction manual of so that's how I end up on top.
Sci-fi people, just
Shut up.
Only write Star Trek The Next Generation fanfic from now on.
Yeah, that's fine. That
Picard
seems
went
pretty
to
good.
a world where everybody's a furry. Okay, cool.
All right. Well, maybe we try that. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, V for Vendetta, great though. Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman, amazing.
Oh, yeah,
Stephen
Hugo
Fry,
is in that,
great.
yeah.
John Hurt, gosh, it's just a great cast.
Shit.
Yeah.
Stat cast. Damn, I forgot about all those people in there.
Yeah. Also, we watched a movie for Legacy of Brutality called Black Noon, which is a made-for-TV horror western from 1971. Cool. And let me tell you this: like, we were talking about it because in the 70s, made-for-TV movies were for real. Like late 60s through the 70s and into the early 80s, made for TV movies like Duel, Steven Spielberg's first feature film. Well, not feature film. First film is a TV film. It didn't go to theaters; it went to CBS.
Sure. I mean, even a lot of people forget Salem's Lot was not a movie; that was a TV series.
Yeah.
TV movie. Yeah.
So when I say Black Noon is a made-for-TV horror western, that does not say it is not quality. Because boy, I'll tell you what, good story. Solid acting, good weirdness. It feels like a episode of Twilight Zone at times, but in a good way.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'll tell you what. And if you're looking for it, it's on YouTube. There's a couple uploads of it. One is higher quality than the other. I'm sure you can figure it out. But it's good. I very much enjoyed it.
Nice.
And then over there on the Screaming Chat, we watched Elvira's Haunted Hills, which...
I'm sure that's great, yeah.
It is great, yeah. Elvira, of course, always a blast. And
a treasure.
I don't know, if you don't follow her on Instagram, she's great. She's so awesome. Just Cassandra Peterson is the best.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, you should. Mm-hmm. The real Elvira. Anyway, yeah, so those aren't the only things we've watched because we, as you said, we're doing a double header, so I split them up.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
gotta keep them separated.
Ahead.
Offspring style.
Yep.
Good call.
Ting,
yeah,
ting,
dude, we
ting,
had
ting.
ourselves a couple of big old rock shows over the weekend. A couple of big old skank banger 80s hair metal tribute shows. We had one public show, one private show, although we did show our privates at the public show. So,
okay, yeah. Wait, did you show your publics at the private show?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. Just the unimportant bits, you know?
Yeah.
The boring parts.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, man. We've been working with a fill-in vocalist out of Charlotte that has just been killing it, man. Absolutely fantastic, man. Goes by the stage name of Rick Shaw.
Rick Shaw, okay.
Yeah, Rick Shaw. Pretty cool name on that guy. But man, it's been great. It's been a really, really fun thing getting to play some shows with that guy. So things have been going really great with that. Other than that, like last Tuesday, after we recorded the Pontypool episode, I guess the next day we were taking down all of our Christmas shit, like tree and all that jazz, because we were ready to get the fuck away from the Christmas season. We're done with it. It's done with us. So we were taking all that stuff down and just watching episodes that we had already seen of the Try Guys Without a Recipe series.
Oh, okay.
Which is such a fucking delight. I don't know if you've ever watched any of those. Have you?
I think I watched one or two, yeah.
Man, they get great. Like the first couple episodes of Without a Recipe are pretty good. They're still kind of playing it safe and figuring out the format. But man, once they get going on that series, it is hysterical. There is so much fun, stupid shit in there. Definitely worth a watch. Very, very enjoyable.
Do they have an episode where Ned ruins his marriage without a recipe? Or
oh man, I know, right? Yeah, he did that. He did that seamlessly, as if he knew the recipe for how to ruin your marriage and your social media platforms, right?
Yeah,
he did that easily.
Yeah.
He's born for it, I guess. What a dum-dum.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been cool, man. Just been digging deep into the Van Halen reservoirs. Did a little video about some lost Van Halen riffs that were on some of their early demos.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Been working. So yeah, just keeping on it, man. And I also watched myself a little movie called Magic this week. And you know what it had in it? A magician.
Yeah, that's what I'd call the guy with a dummy.
Magician.
Yeah, that guy up there with the ventriloquist dummy, he's doing magic.
He's magicking for sure, right? At first he's carding, so he is carding. At first he
does magic, but then he's like, you know what I need? Ventriloquism as well. And
he kind of pivots.
He nails it. He nails it.
But you know what? What a weird time it was in the 70s that this was like a plausible thing, that this guy was just kind of doing adult talent shows with card tricks, and then adopts a dummy, and it's like NBC wants a pilot with you.
That
what?
was real. I mean,
I know.
There's a guy still touring this country right now. By the way, I believe his tour is called the Still Not Canceled tour. Jeff Dunham, dude, with his racist puppets doing his shit comedy. So
hilarious.
That is a holdover from this time. The people who love that are from this time. They love this type of stuff, and he does a great job at it. They're like, this is a very well put together show, but yeah, it's not my thing.
Well, Steve, it got me kind of thinking to myself, because I saw this magician doing some card tricking. I saw him doing some dummy talking, and I was like, man, what kind of magician am I? What kind would I be?
That's a thought to have in this movie.
I think that.
And did you, I don't know, like, did you maybe go to like the ancient internet and look through maybe some like old Angel Fire tomes to find a quiz that might tell us what type of magician we'd be?
Oh, I'll tell you what, man. I did you one better. I went over to gotoquiz.com
and found a 14-year-old quiz.
Is it actually? I didn't look at a date on it. That's awesome. So let us know, what magician are you over here in the Preview Palace? God, we're so hip.
Preview Palace.
So fucking hip. God damn, we're cool.
We thought, listen, all the kids are into BuzzFeed. Let's get retro, you know? We'll bring it back.
Well, this movie's from the 70s, you know? It's like we're going way back.
I mean, the 2000s are back. This is from 2009. We're just ahead of the times.
Yeah. 2009. Jesus Christ, man. A different world.
It was.
How about it, man? All right, now, Steve, we got about 10 questions on this piece right here. Are you excited to find out what kind of magician you'll be?
Yeah, I really, what I hope is when we get to the end, it's like, go to this site to get your results.
Yeah, to claim your Beanie Baby and get your results.
Or if it has like HTML to add to your MySpace page.
Oh, no, that would be sick. And a link to buy a commemorative Princess Diana fine china plate. Very hip.
All right.
I think I'm just putting out a prediction right here. You ready?
Let's hear it.
I think I'm a Chris Angel. I think I'm a real mind freak.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Okay.
He's kind of rock and roll. He's kind of gothy. He's kind of dark, you know? Maybe that's me.
I'm probably more of a classic Houdini type.
Okay, so not a Copperfield. Not really one of those, huh?
No. Listen, making the Statue of Liberty disappear, might as well burn a flag.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
You ain't getting rid of freedom.
Get out of here, Copperfield.
Go on, get Copperfield. How about it? All right, Steve, now, question number 1. This is very important for Magicking. Why are you taking this quiz?
I'm so excited to answer this question.
We got a couple answers here. Because I have nothing else to do, because I love quizzes, because someone worked on it, so they deserve to have someone take their quiz. I think the author wrote that question.
Of course they did.
Or, why do you need to know? Damn.
Oh, wow. This is already just great. I think I'm going to say because I love quizzes.
That's a good idea, because we do them on the show, so clearly...
We love them.
We got to be one of the quiz-takingest podcasts you've ever heard, listener.
I love that when we started doing this, it was like already.
Yeah, it's kind of on the way out.
Yeah. It's funny though.
So I'm going to go with the because someone worked on it answer, and I just noticed that this little answer that the author wrote in himself to try to get himself some love and attention. He misspelled someone on here. It's like some omni. Maybe Somomni's a great wizard is the thing that we just don't even know. Somomni's a great magician.
Worked on it. Holy shit. Okay.
You are the wizard Somomni.
And Somomni's non-binary, uses they them pronouns. So, okay, we figured it out.
There we go.
A prophecy is spoken, Ben.
Wait, is it a prophecy? Is it a prophecy?
A prophecy is spoken.
This is riddled with fucking spelling errors.
This is great. Answer 1. Does it speak of my victory?
Ooh.
Yay. What? What does it say?
Oh, man. I'm going to go with a yay. I'm always excited when there's a prophecy, man. Like, anytime there's a story where there's a prophecy, what has to be fulfilled or maybe not fulfilled, I want to know about it. So, yeah.
I'm going to say what I would say.
A prophecy. A prophecy.
Exactly. I'm going to say what I would say if somebody said a prophecy is spoken. A what?
That sounds more like
Can you write it down? What does that mean?
Excuse me? A prophecy? I think that's a prophecy about an afro. It's a prophecy.
Oh, okay.
There shall be an afro one day.
Listen, honestly, that's just like shooting fish in a barrel there. Of course there's going to be. Duh.
All right. Number 3, you are wounded and about to die. What are your final words?
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
See you all in hell. Why me? I couldn't be wounded. I'm way too cunning and powerful. That's T.O. I'm way too cunning and powerful.
I'm way too cunning and powerful. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Meaning too cunning and powerful, you are way. Way too cunning and powerful, right?
Yeah.
Cunning and powerful. They're asked, what about Steve? And they go, oh, he's way.
He's way.
Way.
Oh, you talking about way? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know the guy. Goodbye, cruel world, or hasta la vista. That is not spelled with the correct
Hasta la
Spanish.
vista is what it says.
Yeah, hasta la vista. That's a magic spell. Like, we're just misunderstanding. That's a Samomni spell. Is hasta la
Samomni says
vista.
hasta la vista.
Great and powerful Samomni. Fuck me.
This is great.
It actually is.
I'm going to say the magic words, hasta la vista.
Yeah, who knows what it might grant you,
Yeah.
right? You might return stronger and more powerful.
I really hope so.
Could be. I'm going to say for myself, I'm going to go with a see you all in hell and shoot double birds.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
That's fucking hard.
That's great. It is hard. That's hard. It's a real fun thing if, say, you've lived like a quiet, peaceful life.
Oh, yeah.
Just like right at your deathbed, just flip off the love of your life and say, see you in hell.
See you in hell. I like that, personally.
Yeah. If you had a power, what power would you have?
Oh.
Elements. Fire, earth, air, water. The power to kill with one look.
Whoa.
I'll take anything. I want everything with a capital E.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
You
What do
know,
you think?
I think... Fuck it. I want everything. Why not, man?
You know
if
what?
I'm going, why not go all out?
Get it.
I don't have to use them all. I mean, I don't need to fucking snap my fingers and Thanos the universe or anything. Like
Sure.
maybe the Great
But you
Wizard
could.
Samomni might, you know?
Oh, Samomni, of course. He'd be
Yeah.
like, hasta la vista, and everybody be gone.
Poof, they're gone. Yeah, I'm going to use my powers for good, but yeah, I'll take them all. Sure.
I'm going to go with the elements. Just trying to summon Captain Planet. See what happens.
Oh, here's the twist, though. It's actually just you have control of all of the Honda elements that are on the road.
Okay, that's a lot
They're
of
at
cars.
your command.
That
It
is
is
a
a
lot
lot.
of cars.
Yeah.
It's not bad power. It's just, not as great as being able to control the earthly elements.
Yeah. There's times that it's not that important, but what if it was like, okay, the different elements, it's like the fire one is like an orange Honda element, the earth one is like a brown Honda element, air is a blue one, and air is a white one, and water is the blue one. You just have 4 Honda elements you can control.
And by control, I mean drive. Oh, 4 free cars. Okay, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, sure. You put the other ones in storage, and you got cars for life, probably. I mean, we're in our 40s. How many cars do you think you're going to need?
Yeah, and they'll just keep. That's how it works.
That's a pretty good power. Never have to buy a new car again. I'll
Right?
take it.
Sounds great.
All right. Okay. You are in love, and your feelings are getting in the way of your magical quest. What do you do?
Oh.
Ditch the quest. Love comes first. Ignore the feelings. They can wait. Or cut my own heart out. I have no time for love, also known as the Elliott Smith solution.
Yeah.
Not recommended.
Not recommended. It didn't work out for him. Yeah, I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna avoid cutting my heart out.
Okay,
I'm
all right.
gonna ditch the quest. Love comes first.
Aww. Well, because I have my everything powers like Samomni, I'm going to cut my own heart out, because then I'll be like, my power is I don't need a heart. And I can just keep on loving and questing as much as I want to.
You know what? That's a good point. Wow.
Yeah. And I'll just watch you drive off in one of your Honda Elements and be like, so long, hasta la vista.
I'll just be like, I'm a lover, not a quester. And off I go.
Yeah. Off he goes, master of the elements.
I want to be able to drive all four at once. That's the thing. That's what I got to like work out.
I like the idea of you being like maybe on one Honda Element and you have the other ones hooked up to like bridles and you're like whipping the three of them, you know? Yeah. There goes Steve with his
on wind,
pack
on
of fire. Yeah, you're also Santa. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why not?
It's great.
What the hell?
Your best friend died in a battle against the opposite magicians.
What does that mean?
Who are they?
Opposite ones. What?
What do you do?
I like to think that they walk on their hands and they're holding their wands in their toes. They're opposite magicians. Whoa.
I'm going to put a rabbit into a hat. What? What is that?
Yeah.
Okay. Surprise.
The man just walks around swallowing bouquets of flowers. Terrible. Ooh.
So, what do you do here? Cry, frowny face.
Oh.
Give him a
Burial.
a burial, and the resume battle.
Wait, hang on.
The resume battle?
The
Give him
resume
a
battle?
burial and the resume battle.
To clarify, it's a double R burial. I
Yeah.
think that is being buried in burrito tacos, right?
Oh, okay, that sounds great.
You dip them in the fat and bury them.
I
and
don't
then,
like the resume
RE
battle part,
hyphen
though.
resume. Yeah, like, what is that about?
It's like a rap battle, but way lame.
I've had way more prestigious jobs than you. Opposite wizards.
Number 3.
Jesus.
I have no friends.
Well, that's a sad answer.
Okay. I mean, that's not even an answer to the question, though. The question is, imagine your best friend died, and your answer is, I don't have friends. Shut up.
Go away, Batman.
And number 4, raise him from the dead and use him as a weapon.
Oh, dude. So,
You piss on him?
that is Weopon. What? WEOPON.
What?
So a weapon is when you use a weapon as a tampon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And so, okay. So in this case, if you're using it with, he is the weapon. So you've raised him and now he's a weapon and then you stick him in your cooter.
And a tampon. Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's how that works.
Wow. This is a tough one. This is a tough one.
I'm going to use my everything powers and raise him from the dead and use him as a weapon, I think. I mean, it worked out pretty well in the movie we're talking about because, like, old Fats got weaponed, didn't he?
That's true. You know what? This actually somehow connects to this.
Although, I'm just thinking, like, what would your friend say? Like, your friend is dying. You resurrect him. He's like, oh, my God, thank you so much. Then
And you're
your
like,
friend,
don't thank me yet.
Yeah, he grabs you by the feet and swings you like a bat at the opposite magicians they're gonna topple because they're standing on their hands.
And then
It's really
afterwards
easy.
sheaths you into
Get in here.
God
damn.
that is evil.
Yeah, that might be the answer if I have no friends.
I'm gonna give him a burial and the resume battle. That sounds to me like I just want to find out what it's like.
Oh man, the burial and the resume battle. That's an unreleased Harry Potter book, right? Harry Potter and the burial and resume battle.
That's definitely from like post school, right? Like he's getting his resume out there, and of course, in Wizarding World, they have you all come in and have your resumes fight.
Yeah, of course. Jesus Christ. Okay, Steve, your master orders you to get them a drink. What do you do?
Okay, let's see.
Get them it, but grown about it. Good sentence structure.
Get them it, but grown about it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're groaning
Get it for
about
them.
the drink.
I guess, yeah. You're like, Mountain Dew.
Okay.
God, you're a master. Mountain Dew. Get it for them while secretly planning their demise. That's Dimise. Demise.
Demise.
Yeah, who's Demise? Sounds like a girl you'd ask to like the high school prom, right? I was Demise to prom. She said she was washing her hair.
Oh no! I think I know what this is. It's Italian. It's Demise. It's the classic Italian tradition on the 10th birthday to throw a large party.
Demise. Delicious. Have lots of noodles. That's right. So you're planning their 10th birthday. So you get the drink for your master and secretly plan their 10th birthday party. Okay.
Yep.
Cunning. I have no master. Kill them then and there.
Okay.
Or get it. I'm glad I can help.
All right. So, I mean, I guess I have to plan their demise. I got a lot of ideas. Yeah. I assume you fill like a bag of breadsticks into like a, I don't know, large tomato type of thing and have them swing at it. And then like, we got Italian listeners. Tell us about your demise. I don't have to assume.
How many small oily fish did you eat at your demise?
It's always a contest. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Who can eat the most sardines? Take them down.
All right. So you're getting it for it. Secretly planning a surprise demise. You know what? I'm going to go with get it. I'm glad I can help. In fact, while I'm there, I'll make you a tasty cocktail. That's what I'll do.
Sounds delicious.
Magic. I'll magic that shit up.
There you go. Your one love is dying and is asking you to kill them to end the pain.
Oh, shit.
What do you do? Give them their dying wish. Stay by their side until their dying day, but do not kill them. Nothing. I have a magical fight for power to win.
What? A magical fight for power to win? Dude, that's an anime tagline for sure. Like that is like Sailor Moon, a magical fight for power to win.
Exactly.
Let's fighting love.
They must be around for my victory. Okay. For the last time, I have no love.
Oh,
okay.
Man. Damn, dude. Okay, so I'm going to go with nothing. I have a magical fight for power to win, using my everything powers. Which I think are just actually everything bagel powers. It means I can like cover anything at will with dried onion, garlic, sesame, pepper, anything. I'll everything you.
That sounds great, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and give them their dying wish. Just for fun.
Snuff them.
I'm going to kill the one I love just for fun. Again, this is a magician quiz?
Yeah.
What is it?
I guess.
What type of is this like some type of magician we don't know about that does not perform illusions but performs like actual magic?
I guess maybe. Okay. There's not been a thing in here about a card or a dove or nothing.
No, not once. No ladies have been sawn in half at all. We got 2 more questions. I don't know. Maybe they'll come up.
Maybe it'll get there, man. All right. You have an enemy cornered. Do you kill them instantly, let them go on the count they surrender, or play mind games with them before killing them slowly and painfully?
Okay. Here we are. It's okay. Let them go on the count they surrender. Okay. I'm going to go with that. Let them go on the count they surrender.
Let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go. Okay. All right.
Because I, as a magician, I've caught my enemy and I'm like, oh, this isn't any fun. Like, ugh, I'm like Batman. I can't kill him.
Okay. All right. See, I'm different. I'm going to kill them instantly because the way I'm thinking about it, it specified you have an enemy cornered, and the only people that are really my enemies are people that probably need to be smoked at anyway.
Okay. No, you got me. I'm convinced.
Oh, you were mean to a dog? Instant death.
Okay, well now I'm changing to play mind games with them before killing them slowly and painfully.
Yeah, because it's your enemy, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't think of it that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now death must come. Finally. Do you crave power?
Ooh.
Maybe a little. Who doesn't? No. Yes. Yes. Yes.
There's a lot of S's. This is a snake for sure.
Yeah, a snake is answering this question. Yeah. Or no, of course I dawn. Maybe a bit.
This is like giving me like Final Fantasy VII text vibes for sure, right?
Well, that makes it a little bit cooler, honestly.
Of course I dawn.
Of course I dawn.
Holy shit, man. No, of course I dawn maybe a bit. You know, I'm just gonna say, yeah, sure. I'll give me that snake. Yes, sure. I'll take some pear.
Yeah, okay. So you're a snake.
You ain't using it.
I'm saying no.
No pear.
Because I'm good boy. Let's find out.
So you're opposite Tim Allen. You're not. Less power. No power.
Let's submit these answers.
Submit these answers here, dude. Oh, man.
This is an answer I don't understand, which is okay.
To be expected with the quality of this quiz from 14 years ago.
People are listening right now and going, what the fuck is this?
So are we.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun part.
You're with us. Yeah.
So my result is light magician. 77%. They are kind and caring. They love to help and use their magic only when they have to. They only have one enemy, the dark magicians.
Damn,
they are constantly at war with them.
Is that their opposite magician?
I guess so. I guess the opposite magician of a light magician is a dark magician. So I guess the dark magician saws a lady in half and then is like, I'm not putting her back together.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. You better get your fucking flock of Honda Elements and fucking hightail, because you're dealing with a dark magician right here. 91%, Steve.
Oh, no.
Oh, they are deceiving and hateful and only care about themselves. They are never satisfied and constantly crave power. They will do anything to have victory. Oh, dude, I'm a bad dude. I'm a bad boy.
Wow. It's crazy that the podcast works, you know, since we're
considering natural enemies.
Yeah.
Well, wow, man.
Whatever. I mean, they're not going to lie to us over on
GoToQuiz.com.
GoToQuiz.com. What?
Yeah. No. I do sound like the kind of guy that would resurrect a friend, beat somebody else to death with him, and then shove him in my vagina. I do sound like that kind of guy, don't I?
You really do, now that I think about it.
It's pretty bad. I never thought of myself that way, but now that I consider it, this shoe fits.
This is the value of taking the quiz, is it opens up new avenues for yourself.
Yeah, self-discovery.
You learn, like, oh, I'm a Carrie, or, oh, you know, I'm a dark magician, or, you know, my Fast and the Furious family member would be Dom. Yeah, right. There you go.
You learn a lot about yourself. That's why we do these. Obviously.
Absolutely.
And so should you.
Yes, absolutely. Now we're encouraging you all to go take quizzes.
Yeah, learn about yourself, you know? It's 2024 already. Learn about yourself.
Yeah, it's about time.
How about we learn about Magic, the movie, what we watched this week? It's from 1970.
It is from 1970, which is 8.
1978, man. Yep. I was negative 6 years old, but I was still floating around as a potential egg in my mama at that point. How disturbing.
Yeah, you would have been like, what is that, the little follicle thingy?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know her nothing.
Wow.
I got real for just a second.
That's kind of statement. Yeah, it's right. It's true.
Anyway.
Magic, 1978. Yeah, this is... boy, I mean, you know, we watched this like middle of last year, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it. And I am just left after like sitting and researching and watching it, wondering like, why don't people talk about this more?
Dude, what the fuck, man? I had never heard of this movie, which is so weird considering it's got Anthony Hopkins kicking all kinds of ass in it. I had never heard of it until I was talking with my bass player in my hair metal tribute band, Skankbanger. I was talking to old Blackie Rose about it, and he was telling me that this was one of his favorite movies that nobody ever talks about, and that it was one that he saw when he was a kid, and it scared the absolute shit out of him. And I remember seeing it scrolling through Shudder or something a couple months ago, and I was like, oh shit, Magic is on here. I need to watch this. We need to do it on the show, because Blackie has talked about it, and he's got good taste. I'm glad that we did, because I'm with you. Why the fuck are people not talking about this? This is rad.
It is. It's directed by Richard Attenborough. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
That's right. That is. Yeah. Damn,
Written
dude.
by William Goldman, writer of so many amazing thrillers.
Yeah.
One of the best screenwriters of all time.
Absolutely.
Based on his own novel, and starring Anthony Hopkins and Margaret Burgess Meredith. Like, the whole cast.
Hella cast.
Is solid. I think Anthony Hopkins and Burgess Meredith are both giving amazing performances. I think Anne Margaret's doing great. Ed Lauder, who plays her husband, gosh, he's definitely
awesome.
Really, really good in this. Yeah, everybody
dude,
is
you got
killing
fucking
it.
Jerry Goldsmith batting 1,000 with a great ass soundtrack to go along with the movie.
Like, what is going? And
what?
The dummy itself is amazing. Meant to look like Anthony Hopkins, and clearly does.
It's unnerving, yeah.
Yeah, unnervingly so. Yeah, like, everything about this is so well done, so well paced. The ending is so dark, just so bleak. Oh, man.
And I'll tell you, if you're listening to this and you haven't watched the movie yet, don't let us spoil it for you and ruin the movie for you. Definitely go and watch it, and definitely go and watch it on Peacock, which we didn't.
Not Shudder. Don't watch it on Shudder.
That's the first time we've probably ever said that on this show.
Yeah.
Don't watch it on Shudder. But
and here's why. The version on Shudder is a made-for-TV edit. It is in 4:3 aspect ratio, and it's clearly a video transfer.
Super grainy, super gritty.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a 70s television show, not a movie. And it's got all the fade to black commercial breaks in it that, it's one of those things that your brain processes and goes, oh, that's where a commercial break is. But if you're watching this as a movie, which it is a movie and not a TV series or TV movie, it does disrupt the flow a little bit.
It does. And also, the 4:3 aspect ratio cuts out a lot. It just gives it a look that, I mean, it would make you think, oh, I get why people don't really talk about this, even though it's got all those other elements. It looks bad. But
that was one of the only complaints about the movie that I had, honestly, is that it looks very much like a made-for-TV movie from 1978. But that's just the edition that they had on Shudder.
And that is an issue that Shudder has, unfortunately. And, honestly, we've found on Tubi as well recently with some horror westerns that we've been watching, that if you find it on Tubi and you think that's the best version you can get, just keep looking, because sometimes it is the absolute lowest quality.
Another reason to champion physical media.
Exactly.
Buy the fucking thing. That way you have it, and you have the right copy of it, man. Yeah. Man, Kate found a thing the other day where some company is making these it's like these little plastic sleeves, almost like comic book bag sleeves, that you can slip your DVDs or Blu-rays into, as well as with the cover art from the actual packaging. And then in a little shoebox size container, you can have fucking 200 movies. Yeah. Which is great. We still have all of our movies in storage. Yeah. Well, not all of them, but most of our DVDs and stuff in storage, just because we have so fucking many and we don't have a ginormous bookshelf to put them on. That just eats up so much space. So we're going to try that out. We're going to try to minimize our packaging. That way we can actually have all our physical movies again.
Bring back CD wallets.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
because I understand if people say well, where are you going to store all your physical media? And what they're really asking is, where are you going to display all your physical media? Because it's easy to find storage that doesn't take up all that space. You want to display them, you need a lot of space.
But the thing is, I don't really want to display mine, because a bunch of mismatched DVD spines on a bookcase. Yeah,
not exactly a hot look for home. Great. Yeah.
No.
So this is one definitely, if you can watch it on Peacock. I think you can watch stuff on Peacock without paying. You just watch with ads, and honestly,
I think so.
The quality is that much better. That
I so wish I would have watched that stream of it, man. I want to watch this again and see if there's any any scenes that got cut or anything, because there's a few moments in the one that we watched where I was like, I feel like a scene was missing right here.
Yeah, I like skipped through to the parts where there were fades to black, and I think those are just commercial breaks, but I am not positive if there was anything cut, because again, I watched it on Shudder and then just was like, this can't be right, and then saw that it was on Peacock in the much better version. So I don't know for sure. Hopefully not, but as I said, it's an edit for TV, so maybe so.
Maybe. But even with that in mind, even if we did watch an edited TV version, it was still fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's still great. That's the thing, is like, even if you do only get to watch it on Shudder, just know there's a better quality version out there, but the movie you're seeing is great still.
Dude, and it's really all carried by those performances. This is one of those movies that totally could have landed on our preview palace that we did for Pontypool, where we were talking about movies that are ultra tense, very scary, but not really that much is happening actually.
Right. Yeah,
this totally could have landed on that, and with inferior performances, this wouldn't have been near what it is. That's a W-ism right there. I can't even claim that one as a Ben-ism. That's a W right there for you. Bringing it back. I'm taking it back. But without the performances that you have in this movie would not stand up as well as it does, man. But you got fucking Anthony Hopkins in here looking like paranoid schizophrenic Rivers Cuomo who got some contact lenses. Dude, his little haircut that he's got in this and his little sweaters and shit, I was like, this is Rivers Cuomo from Weezer for fucking sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's doing a great job, because like, I mean, the movie is really about a man and his id. This man is just so pent up and so incapable of expressing his emotions and feelings and things, but when he discovers this ventriloquist dummy, he's able to use it to say what he wants to say. But he also, as he does that more and more, loses control of it, and loses the dividing line between the two, and
he becomes more and more the puppet as it goes on.
And that's the thing, is that he's so stiff throughout, because he's the puppet. He's the one who's really being wooden, and who's obviously like not being his real self. He's hiding this, and that comes out in fats. He's hiding all of his like sexual desires and things like this. This is very Freudian. I mean, so many late 70s through early 80s horror movies are very Freudian. But yeah, really dealing with his like repression of his sexual desire and things like that.
Lack of confidence in himself, his own fears of rejection and failure. Like, he can't handle these things. Corky can't handle these things on his own, but Fats can. Yes. So he really starts living through Fats in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and, just like with every Freudian thing, you do get, like, some bad representations of dissociative identity disorder or whatever, but it's a movie.
But also, too, this movie never pins it down on what is going on.
Right, like, it never does say that,
Yeah,
which is better.
There's not, like, a newspaper headline at the end, or, like, the explanation at the end of the original Psycho, where it's like, well, you see, what Corky had was DID, or a multiple personality disorder.
Yeah.
Like, it never says exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and that is its saving grace in that aspect, I think, is just not saying anything, just being like, what if?
Fucked up, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Fucked up.
Yeah, and I think that, like, what really does it is, aside, as you said, the performances, William Goldman's script is obviously super tight and super tense, like, insanely so.
Mm-hmm.
The tension in some scenes is just off the charts. Through
the roof.
Yeah, the kitchen table scene that first morning that Duke is there, the scene out in the boat, like, oh boy.
Oh my God, man. One of the scenes that really just had me, gripping the edge of the sofa is that scene where his agent, Burgess Meredith, shows up. And he's really worried about the state of Corky's mental health and how attached he is to Fats. And he's like, make him not talk for 5 minutes. Don't talk through Fats for 5 minutes. And dude, like, Anthony Hopkins is like, I can do that. That's fine. I totally got this. And he's like squirming. He's getting really uncomfortable. Like, it's so natural the way that he's doing it. And then Burgess is playing it so chill and so relaxed and so in control of the situation and knowing he's going to fail. He's just waiting on it.
Yeah.
That scene is bananas tense and nothing is happening. There's no threat to anything. It's not like he's like, you know, if you talk, I'll shoot this gun I have pointed at you. Nothing is happening, actually. It's silent.
The real, like I guess consequence is I'll get you some help. Like it's like the tension is there because Corky can't do it, and he doesn't want to admit there's something wrong with him. That's like why he's gone up state to hang out here in his hometown, because he's trying to escape this physical examination that NBC wants to give him before giving him a test pilot, special thing, which was pretty common in this era. If you had a good, tight 5-minute set, they gamble on giving you a TV show. So Burgess Meredith in this is so good, and it just made me think, like, I don't think I've ever understood just how good Burgess Meredith is. Like, he's been like, he had been around since the 30s. Like, he's in the first adaptation of Mice and Men, which is great, but he's had so many roles I just didn't realize to put these all together. Like, he was the Penguin in the 1966 Batman, who was one of the most beloved characters, and his like representation of the Penguin as this like very silly, like, you know, 1920s looking billionaire type of guy. Like, he also had great performances in Twilight Zone. He was in 4 different episodes, and like every time I see his name and I'm like, oh great, Burgess Meredith is in this, but like my brain just never connected. Like, he's in 4 episodes of Twilight. He leads 4 episodes of Twilight Zone. That's amazing. And then,
he's
of course,
Rocky's trainer.
Rocky,
man.
Yes, in Rocky, he's just like, and that's 2 years before this. Like, that character and this character couldn't be more different.
Yeah, that's what impressed me. Is like the most recent thing that I had seen him in was the original Rocky, which we watched maybe 6 months or so ago. And yeah, he's, you know, super rough and tumble, super hoarse and gritty and gruff. And then in this, he's not that at all. He's this like kind of posh businessman.
Yeah.
You know, really in control, intelligent guy.
Yeah.
The range is insane, and he destroys this, man. It's so good that, like, people ought to be named Burgess again. Let's bring it
just
back.
Because of this performance.
Burgess.
Yeah. And the fact that he's only in half of the movie. And he's not, you know, he's only in like a few scenes really, but they're scene stealing each time, and he based his character off of famous Hollywood agent Irving Lazar, also known as Swifty, because he put together 3 major deals for Humphrey Bogart in one day.
Whoa, I've heard that name before. Yeah,
Swifty Lazar. So he's famous, and he was famous for speaking softly to make people lean in. So that's why Burgess Meredith is never like, he never leans forward, he never raises his voice except when Corky grabs his arm. Like, he's always in control. He's very much like, if you just go look at pictures of Irving Lazar, like, he nailed the look, he nailed the feel. Like, he was going for a particular type of character, and it really, it feels good. Like, when he's on screen, he's got all these like charming little witticisms and things. He's very charismatic and magnetic. Yeah.
And I feel like he's really there genuinely to help Corky. Like, there's not really a lot that's said about their past exactly, but I get the impression that he really isn't just looking at Corky as a cash cow or his chance at a break where you can make a ton of money off of him. Like, I think he does want to help.
I think it's both. I think it shows that he is very shrewd as an agent. He sees a long-term investment in Corky. That means that he will do everything he can to make sure that Corky is okay. And he does seem to find him, as you said, like he seems to like Corky. Like, it's like that's what drew him to Corky. He likes this, you know, kind of weird, quiet, but clearly like funny guy
and talented.
Yeah. So there's that there, and then also that like he's been in the business so long because he says that at a certain point. I've been here since Tallulah Bankhead and the death of vaudeville. Yeah, like he's been there so long that to him, getting this kid help for a year or however long, that's just a long-term investment. Like when he gets out, he'll be better. You know,
man, that scene that we're talking about, the scene where they're sitting there in silence, has some of my favorite stuff. In the movie, both dialogue-wise and some of the camera angles and stuff going on, where you have that shot where it's Corky and Fat sitting on the couch, and the camera kind of pans to the side so that the profiles are in line, and then Fat's profile kind of takes over.
Yes,
Corky's. Yeah. That's so cool and subtle, and there's no dramatic soundtrack sting. It's not really drawing attention to itself. It's just a really simple, effective way of showing those two personalities of those characters kind of merging as one and kind of being at war with each other. And then that line, whenever Burgess is about to leave and Corky grabs him by the arm and he's like, "Get your hands off me" and shit. Corky's like, "You took away my only shot," or whatever he says, and Burgess is like, "I am your only shot." Like, God, that's good, man. I'm your one chance. That's what he says. I am your one chance.
Yeah, and this is directed, as you said, by Richard Attenborough. So like, he's got experience. This is I think his fourth movie directed, and his third working with Anthony Hopkins. And he had just done A Bridge Too Far, which had done well, and a few years after this did Gandhi. So you're talking about a major director directing this pretty...
No wonder it's good.
Like subdued horror, psychological thriller type of thing. No wonder it's good. And if you do see the better quality version, it looks gorgeous. Shot gorgeously. Just the colors pop, especially in that like nightclub scene. Just so nice and colorful. Really enjoyed this movie and the way it looked. But I also feel like there's something like here that like sometimes people say this isn't a horror movie. They say it's a thriller, and of course, like William Goldman.
Sometimes there's a fine line.
Sometimes there's a very fine line, and William Goldman was known for his thrillers. The thing that I think people are maybe overlooking is Anne Margaret. Anne Margaret's character is a victim throughout this entire thing. This is a horror movie for her, where a man comes back into her life and promises her a better future and then takes everything from her.
Goes to a murdering. It is a very bad story for old Peg in this, isn't it?
Yeah. So, there's no denying this is clearly a horror movie. And especially I feel like when Fats stabs Duke, that's horror movie stuff. You don't see...
Yeah, right.
I mean, a puppet or, a doll come to life type of movie is certainly always a horror movie, and this is not that. But still, a doll stabbing a man is just horror territory.
Dude, whenever Corky is swimming out into the lake with Burgess Meredith is Ben, right? That's his character's name.
Ben.
Whenever he's swimming out into the lake with his body, and you just see Fats watching from that window in the cabin. That shit is terrifying, man.
It is. It really is. Yeah,
like, very, very effective, very scary in every way that, Annabelle isn't, for example.
Sure. They played with the supernatural element for a while. Like, really making it seem like, oh, well, maybe the doll is alive.
So
maybe this ventriloquist dummy.
It's subtle.
Yeah.
It's like really subtle how they do it, too, because there's scenes where you think you see the eyes move, and then there's scenes where you definitely see the eyes move on their own. There was one in the movie that was apparently a mistake. Like the doll's eyes in real life just kind of shifted, and they left it in the movie. And they're like, "Oh, that actually is really cool."
Well, if it happened in real life, then it could happen.
It's real. Yeah, it turns out they actually had a real possessed ventriloquist dummy on the set. That's how they filmed this. It's actually a snuff film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Joke's on you.
Anthony Hopkins has been dead since 1978. Yeah. Wow.
One thing that I thought was really cool about this, in the way that they kind of toyed with both the is it supernatural or not aspect, but also Corky's, spiraling into psychosis throughout the movie, is whenever you see him and Fats initially, Anthony Hopkins is doing the ventriloquism. Like he's learned how to throw his voice, and he's learned how to, not move his mouth while he's speaking for Fats. You can still sort of see his Adam's apple move up and down a little bit. You can see his palate moving slightly in some of those early shots. But then, as the movie goes on, especially towards the end, the voice of Fats is completely disembodied, and Anthony Hopkins is not moving his mouth at all. Like they did it with ADR. They just, dubbed that in later on, so that his face was completely still, and the voice is just coming out of nowhere. I love that subtle little feature that they did to show how much more powerful Fats was becoming as the movie went along.
And it also makes you wonder, is that what he's been hearing the whole time? Like,
ooh, yeah.
Has that been in his head the whole time, and now it's just coming out, and now we're seeing it? Yeah, I think, like as we learn more about his psychosis and his dissociation, like you start to see, like I think the movie is inferring like the reason why he's always been this way, or the movie is implying the reason why he's always been this way, that is that he's always had this voice in his head. Yeah, he's always been like interacting with this voice in his head, and that's how he has some charm and he has some jokes and whatnot. But he just was so shy. We learned in high school he never talked to anybody. But he's always been talking. It's always been going on up in his head
to himself. Right? Yeah. I love how you never really find out that much about his past. Like you have those little flashback moments of, him having the crush on Peg, but not doing anything about it while he's carving that wooden heart. You have the flashback of his family's funeral. What the fuck is going on at that? How did they die? What's happening? No idea. It's never really explained.
We do know there's obviously a disconnect there, because the taxi driver says, you got people in there? And he says, people? No, just family.
Yeah.
So,
what?
Yeah, I think like there's something happened. Like there's a trauma there, and it's kind of missing maybe in his memory. Like he's not positive of what it is, but there's a trauma there, and there's a dissociation.
But also too, how much can we trust his memory? I mean, I get the impression that even as the movie goes on and we see stuff like when Fats the dummy comes to life and stabs Duke, that didn't happen.
It didn't.
He steps out from a curtain like behind.
Yeah, he was behind the curtain. It was his hand. Yes, but that's how he sees it. That's how it is in his mind. Is that Fats did it? He didn't do it.
Right, and that's all the movie is showing us is his perspective. So you kind of have that unreliable narrator thing going on in this, which I think is always fun to play around with in a movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, one thing that I was really impressed by with his performance, actually a couple things I was really impressed by with Hopkins' performance. I'm just not used to seeing him play that kind of shy, insecure character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think of him, I'm thinking of his usual roles, which are intellectual, well put together, well spoken, confident Hannibal Lecter types, or just totally zany Van Helsing roles like in Dracula. But in this, seeing him go to a place where he's this super vulnerable, super shy, mentally unwell person, that's a different kind of role than what I'm used to seeing him play, and he nails it. It's absolutely an awesome performance.
Yeah, and he is in a part this is a time in his career where he is not yet Anthony Hopkins. Like he's Tony Hopkins at this point.
That's true.
Hey, Tony, you want to be in this movie? Yeah. Yeah.
I love his accent in this too. His accent is really subtle, because early in the movie, I think it might be Ben mentions that his parents came over here and like his dad was British or something. He says his dad was a limey.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of explanation as to why he speaks the way he speaks, but he does speak mostly American. There's like 15% UK in his accent. Yeah. It's not all there. It sounds like somebody who was raised in America by one parent
who was from Britain.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
really subtle the way that he toned his accent down for this, but it's still kind of there. Like that has to be harder than just completely deleting your accent. Just doing a little bit of it.
Of course, that line just may be to explain his accent. They were like, "Oh, you can't really do American. Let's throw a line in that explains." Yeah.
Who knows, man? At first, I thought that Peg's performance was overly exuberant. I mean, she gets so excited about the smallest things, almost like a kid would or a teenager, and just is, overjoyed about these little bits of magic that Corky is doing. But then when you frame it in the way that you did a second ago, where you talk about how sad and shitty her life is, and after you meet Duke and you realize like she's just overjoyed to have someone pay attention to her is what it is.
Absolutely.
It's so sad.
Yeah, it's very, very sad that like he manipulates her. He uses that magic trick to make her think that they have this real connection and stuff.
That's an intense ass scene too.
It is. And he's an asshole to her. And that she's playing it so well, because what Anne Margaret is doing is she's playing a woman who's been abused and who's been in situations like this and seen men fly off the handle.
Yeah.
And she's worried. And then when he guesses the right card, she's so overjoyed and relieved that nothing happened, that I feel like it's like he's using that. He knows like how to manipulate her to get what he wants. And she thinks that it's making her happier, but it's just that it's not making her sad. And that's sad.
Which is not the same thing. I've seen way too many people like that in life where they're just used to such a shitty circumstance that it's like, well, I didn't get hit today. It's a good day.
Yeah.
It's
so
it's better.
If that's what you're used to, then a mid dude doing a card trick and
might be a big deal, right?
Might be a big deal. Yeah.
I love to like one really subtle thing that they do with the dialogue in that after he is like all super stressed out about getting that trick right, and it's like this life or death situation for him to get this trick right and impress the girl.
Yeah.
His inherent fear of failure that he has that drives him through this whole movie is so strong that after he does the trick and he's even amazed by himself, he doesn't say, "I did it." He says, "I didn't fail."
Now, Ben,
like, his default is, "I expect to fail."
I'm going to teach you about misdirection. You've been fooled.
Magicking.
He knows how to do the trick. He's making her feel like he might hit her. He's manipulating her. He's a piece of shit. He's not afraid of success. He uses that as an excuse.
Yeah.
He's using that to manipulate her. He's not afraid of success. He doesn't want to have a physical because he knows what they'll find about him.
And I wonder too if it's like a fear that they will confirm what he already knows.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it.
So therefore, I mean, honestly, like that's part of my own doctor phobia. Kayla asks me all the time, like, "Why are you so nervous at the doctor?" I'm like, "What if they find something?" It's like, "Well, then you already have it." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know."
I don't want to know. Yeah. I think that's it. That like he is stressing so much about that. It's misdirection. He is leading her to be more and more and more tense so that when he finally performs the trick correctly, she feels that like, release of tension, and then he draws her in with his own
sympathize
patheticness.
With me. I didn't fail.
Exactly.
You know what? Now that you point that out too, that also makes sense with like one of the very first scenes, I think the very first scene in the movie, where we're introduced to the character of Corky, and right away he's lying. He's a fucking liar right away.
He's
liar. Talking to his mentor Merlin. He just gets back from some show that he did, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I did the trick and I knocked him dead." But it's showing us the reality of no, he didn't. Everybody was bored, not watching, talking. So the first thing we see of his character is that he is a fucking liar.
Yeah. And then we keep seeing that, like when Ben Green shows up at his cabin and he's talking to Fats before he notices that Ben Green's there.
I'm just rehearsing.
Instantly turns it to a lie, and he does that throughout. He's very good at lying. He convinces Duke so much that Duke starts talking to him like about how he's afraid he's gonna lose the woman who's cheating on him with the man he's talking to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he does this unassuming bit that is misdirection. And it is all about being able to manipulate. And that is what, magic is. Stage magic, and street magic is all about manipulating the audience into not seeing what you're doing.
Yeah. Damn, man. I mean, and it's all riddled through the whole movie. Like, it tells us that in the movie. It tells us so much stuff. People just want to be entertained. It's all about misdirection, Yeah. That's what magic really is.
Yeah.
Real magic can't happen on a camera. It has to be in person. And in person, he deceives these people.
Yeah, and he tells her this story about how he whittled her a heart, but he threw it away. And he was because he was going to give it to her in high school. And then later he gives her a whittled heart and says he's done it recently, but we didn't see that. So he's lying about throwing it away, I feel like. But is he lying about that as well? Did he whittle it, gave it to her, but he never actually whittled one for her in high school? He's just manipulating her. Yeah. Like, we don't know. Like, the whole time we don't know if anything he's saying is true.
Yeah. Well, you were even pointing out the fact that maybe he and Duke had known each other previous to this too.
Yeah, because Duke seems worried about him instantly. And then
he's suspicious of him some,
He's suspicious. And then he's also charmed by him. And he turns to speaking to Corky about being afraid he's going to lose his wife when Corky kind of convinces him it didn't happen. Like, nothing happened.
That conversation was really twisty-turny, where initially Duke calls his bluff, and he's like, yeah, Peg told me you guys slept together 2 nights ago. And then Corky is like, oh, yeah, you didn't believe her or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I know. She said she wanted to. I'm worried I'm losing her. Like, it kind of comes right around right away. It's like not where I expected that to go.
Which, it kind of implies they've had this past relationship that was cordial, at least,
Is that in the book, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe so. I mean, because the Wikipedia plot summary says that they were friends in high school, but I didn't see that in the movie expressed at any point, which
didn't either.
Maybe indicates it was in the book.
Okay. That's interesting, man. And then, dude, that scene where they're in the fucking boat and he thinks that he's hooked Ben's dead body that he put in the lake.
Yeah, and he's going to hit him with the paddle. Oh.
Jesus Christ, man. Then he has to guzzle that scotch just to calm down afterwards.
Right.
That was so fucking tense, man.
Yeah, it was. Sitting and watching this, I don't think that I got through it without having to pause and walk away from it each time.
It passed the phone test for me. I didn't check my phone once.
Yeah, I wasn't checking my phone, but it was just like, this is too tense. Like, I just gotta step away. Because that scene and the kitchen table scene, just like every scene with Duke is so tense. And then, as you said, the cabin scene with Ben Green and whatnot, they're so tense. And then when, at the end, when he says he left the heart outside her door, but then he doesn't walk away, and then after he does walk away, he's just hiding around a corner. It was like, what is he gonna do?
Yeah, dude.
It's just so tense.
And then he fucking stabs himself to save her from the harm. And damn, that last scene between him and Fats back in the cabin, and he's like, I think we're dying. Fuck, man. That shit is dark. Like, it really hits super hard. And I love that line where it says, it was never me, it was always us.
Yeah.
Kind of implying that voice has always been in his head, too.
Yeah. And there's also just the scene where Fats is puppeting him.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
I was going to bring that up. Talk about a scene that could have been corny as fuck.
Oh, for sure. Could have absolutely not played. But he plays it so well. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, Fats is he's like, get on all fours, spin around, growl like a dog, or whatever the commands he gives him are. And he just seems like a lunatic. It seems like you caught Anthony Hopkins in the middle of a psychotic break.
Yeah. It's just such a great performance. And I don't know, man. I have to put this like way higher on my list of recommendations when people ask for a horror movie they maybe haven't seen, because this this is definitely so, like, just every aspect of it is done so well. And I just, you don't get to see someone like Anthony Hopkins in something like this often. And he isn't Anthony Hopkins yet. It's like on the come up. It's just right at that moment when you can catch a great actor in a role that is maybe too small, honestly, for them. But it's not. Like, he just elevates the role. Like,
Dude, it reminds me of, like, when you see a band that is, like, playing in a little teeny tiny ass club in your town, and they're fucking mind-blowing, and then, like, a month later, they're, like, on tour with some mega huge band. Like, seeing an
and it's like, that makes sense.
Yeah, you know, that's just about to break, and you still get to see him in, like, an intimate, small setting. It's such a cool experience. That's what it's like watching him in this.
Yeah, I know, like, I read that Gene Wilder wanted the role. Yeah. And I think about that, and I think, Gene Wilder is so good, and, I imagine what he would do with the role.
I think it could have been cool, man.
Yeah, I don't know, though, that it could have been as perfect as this.
Right.
But maybe he would have elevated it even more. Who knows?
Who knows, man? I
just feel like Anthony Hopkins nails the woodenness, the I'm the dummy, he's in charge feel, the insecurity, but also the underhandedness, he's a worm, this guy. Like, he is really manipulating everybody in his life.
Yeah, you shouldn't really feel sorry for him.
And you shouldn't. You absolutely should not. But you should, kind of, because he's had this since he was a kid. So it's like that real tough. And he is able to convey all that. You look at Anthony Hopkins, and you see him doing these terrible things, but he's still got this very, like, likable aura to him. And still, like, and you can see why Ben Green was drawn to him, because there's something there, even though his posture and, you know, his just, like, sort of dead-eyed stare can kind of, like, belie the fact that he's clearly got a lot going on underneath. He's still, when he does talk, when he does speak, he's quick, he's funny, and you know there's a lot going on behind there. So Anthony Hopkins, I think, just does it so well. And I'm sure Gene Wilder would have done something amazing with it, too, though.
Kate was saying, like, imagine what this would have been like to have Robin Williams from this era in this role, which could have been unhinged as fuck, too.
Absolutely. And Robin Williams, as we know, is great at playing dark. 1 Hour Photo. Check that out.
Oh, my God, man.
Dark role. But, yeah, I think it would have been different. I think that we're talking about three people who could have made a great movie, and you'd probably end up with three different movies in a lot of ways. Yeah.
And they're probably all fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah, they'd probably all be great. Yeah.
Yeah, if the only version you'd ever seen was the Gene Wilder one, you'd probably be like, man, this is fucking amazing. He was dark as shit. I can't imagine Anthony Hopkins doing this.
Yeah,
like,
how would he do this? You know? Yeah.
Okay, here's a question, though. Is this an original movie?
No. Not at all.
Right?
This is the thing that, like, I know, like, you know, you can get fatigued on Hollywood repeating things and giving you the same stories over and over. I get that, but
it's nothing
just
new.
Think about this. So this theme of a ventriloquist who uses their dummy as essentially a mouthpiece to say all the things they don't want to say, and that there's a dual persona going on, has existed for quite a while. 1929, The Great Gabbo. 1945, we got Dead of Night. 1954, we got Knock on Wood.
That's a lot.
2 episodes of The Twilight Zone. And also Devil Doll in 1964. All kind of dealing in this same area, maybe dealing with it differently or whatever. But that's the thing, is that, oftentimes it might be some laziness in Hollywood or laziness on the part of the writer. They don't want to come up with something completely unique. Or it could be, I watched that and I liked it, but I thought it should go this way. And that's fun. That can be great. Like, I think, we all have valid complaints about Hollywood losing creativity, but also historically Hollywood has always repeated ideas and always made remakes and always just done the same thing over and over and over, and sometimes it's great. So like it's a valid complaint, but also like it's just the way the industry's always been. So, give it a chance. Even if you think the movie you see coming out is like, oh, that idea was done in 1986 or whatever. It's like, well, now it's 2023. Maybe they got a different perspective on it.
Yeah, could be, man. Could be. One thing about this movie that did intrigue me, though, that I found to be very suspect and maybe unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Is the way that Ben has such a laissez-faire attitude with those fucking glass tubes for his cigars that he just throws
them and lets them shatter. That is just an indication of how wealthy he is. That he knows doing that means someone has to come in and clean it up. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother him.
I mean, like, did this guy not grow up with glass emergencies in the household? I know I did.
Yeah.
I'm a glass emergency household survivor. I'm in recovery right now from having glass emergencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I accidentally shatter stuff all the time. Maybe, you remember.
On the air of the show.
Big old jug of Carlo Rossi just shattering on the show. But, I think that was really just meant to indicate just how, like, disconnected he is with anyone working below him. Like, It's not his problem. Somebody else.
I think that Peg's usage of frozen vegetables is also one of the saddest things about her character. Frozen asparagus tips. Do you want me to thaw these frozen asparagus tips out? No, I don't.
I mean, that was just so. That was the norm, right? Forever, like canned and frozen. At least I remember going to the grocery store and the fruit and vegetables were always there. I don't remember us ever buying them. Yeah. Unless they were in a can or frozen.
Totally. And heavy syrup. Everything. Yeah. Everything in the heavy syrup. So awful, man.
I don't know why it was that way back then, but she's got the frozen veggies, and that's an interesting moment too, where I kind of like did a double take because she says, "You're the man. You're supposed to make decisions.
Yeah, you want this or that. It's your job. You're the man."
And later at the end, she says, "Like I could change my mind. I'm a woman." And
that's the last line of the movie. So weird.
And it felt like, to me, she's joking. She's saying these things. Like, because she sees Corky as a man who's not like Duke, who wouldn't insist on making all the decisions and things like that. But I also think I might be just recontextualizing it from a future standpoint. She may be saying these things because she's written as a traditional type of woman, right? But it doesn't feel that way to me. I feel like Anne Margaret is so playful throughout that these are just jabs, like little jokes she's making because Corky is so different. And she doesn't make those jokes with Duke.
No, that's true. So in other words, you're saying that's almost her being like, I can joke around about the way I had to live my life and walk around on eggshells before. I can joke around about it. I don't have to do this stuff anymore.
Yeah, yes, it's like dark humor. It's a gallows humor of like, just like, my life fucking sucked. And then you came along and you're not going to be that way, right?
Right.
But
I mean, or maybe it's just 1978. I honestly don't know.
That's possible. It's very possible. Yeah, I do. Because it's written by William Goldman, who is a fella. But I think William Goldman is often shown in other screenplays to be adept at writing women characters. So I think it's a joke, but I could be wrong.
Who knows, man? Who knows? I do know that soundtrack is fucking jamming, though. Jerry Goldsmith rules. I've said it so many times on the show. Goldsmith is the fucking man. I love the way that he has some like really suspenseful string arrangement, kind of classic horror suspense sounding stuff. And then every time Fats is doing something, there's that kind of lonely harmonica. that comes into the soundtrack, and it just comes and goes just whenever Fat's there. It's like that's his soundtrack.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the movie has a different soundtrack for them. I love the way that he played with that stuff.
Now, I've never thought about this, but Jerry Goldsmith, William Goldman, did Jerry Goldsmith create William Goldman?
But there was another man. A man to rule them all. A gold man. One day we'll be like in a volcano. I'll be like, cast him into the fire, Steve. And you'll be holding up William Goldman. No.
Well, yeah, I'll be holding William Goldman, who will he'll have his legs wrapped around me like a baby sucking his thumb. No.
Yeah, well, it changes to the shape of the user of Goldman, as we know. Maybe he gets around like a really hot fire and like all kinds of markings start showing up on him and Elvish. That's how you know it's a real gold man.
One screenwriter to rule them all.
Yeah, it might be like that, huh? Oh shit, you might be right, man.
Maybe Maybe so.
Goldsmith was the man who forged him. The fires of Mount Doom.
If so, thanks. I mean, good job.
Yeah, I got some good work out of him,
For sure.
Do you think they were trying to make fun of Burgess Meredith's character in Rocky whenever they put that little toboggan on Fats after Fats was used to kill him? Because he totally looked like fucking Mickey.
Rocky.
He totally looked like Mickey once they put that little toboggan on him.
Yeah, he did look like Mick. I hadn't thought about that until you mentioned it. But yeah, probably like a little nod. I mean, Rocky was 76, just 2 years before this. Yeah, it'd be a fun little Easter egg, just like,
it's a little
he
nod.
just killed Mick, so now he's got the
oh my
Mick
god,
crown.
You killed Mickey. I was really impressed with this movie, man. I don't really have a ton more to say about it. It's just a really, really cool, really simple premise that does go deep in examining this kind of Freudian relationship where this guy is living out his inner dialogue through this dummy, through this thing. And he ends up becoming the puppet by the end of the movie. A lot of broken people floating around in this movie encountering each other, and it is very bleak, man. We totally watched some Bob's Burgers after this one for sure.
They just had a great new episode, so I understand. I definitely, as I said, I had to get up and walk around during some real tense moments, and you don't walk away from it feeling great because this poor woman she's just tossing her heart up in the air. It's just such a obvious visual metaphor for how she has finally got this feeling, this light feeling in her heart, and she's so happy and things are gonna be better, and she has no idea what she's about to walk in on. And it's just so dark.
It is. It is really dark too that the movie closes out with her. It closes without her opening that door and seeing his dead body and understanding what her life is going to be, and also that her former partner is also going to be found dead. Yeah. Her life is about to go to shit when the movie ends. At the very least, is fucked.
I'm assuming the police are going to have a lot of questions as there are 3 dead men and she's the only person who survived.
Also that. Yeah. Ooh, damn, man. Grim.
Very.
A bleak movie, but I was really impressed by it, man. It was so tense, and the performances were so good. I wish I would have watched the Peacock version. Yeah, but definitely. I was still sassified with the TV edit.
Yeah, I think you lose visual elements there, but you don't lose any of the other elements that make the movie so great, which is honestly upped its value in my estimation, knowing that I watched it in a lower quality and still thought it was amazing. And I didn't even really question until you mentioned that it was in 4:3 aspect ratio. Didn't even really question that. I was just like, sure, great, whatever. This is awesome.
Yeah, whatever. So, definitely dug it. An undiscovered gem. Always fun finding a horror movie that I hadn't seen or that most people I know hadn't seen and finding one that I really liked. So, hopefully you guys enjoy it, too. What kind of a number are you going to slap on this thing?
Oh, God, that's hard.
I know, right?
Upper 9s, somewhere
Yeah.
around there. Yeah,
I'm
it's
like
great.
9-ish. Yeah, 9-ish for me too. Like, I'm not going to go to, the 10 zone with it simply because it makes me feel bad to watch it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I can't give it the element where like I'm really wanting to rewatch this and visit that world again. It's a sad place.
Yeah, repeated watchability is maybe an element of a 10, and I think here that's the tough part. I mean, you can watch it over and over if you'd like to feel that way. But
you could. I don't usually,
but I'm not gonna. So it's probably like 9.5 ish for me.
Yeah, man.
So
damn good movie.
Great. Yeah. What are we doing next week?
Well, I'll tell you what. Here on the show next time, we're gonna be returning to Them Living Deads for the second time.
Yeah.
ROTLD, Return of the Living Dead, Part 2.
It's so goofy.
Do you want a party? I think that I fucking do.
Yeah.
And this movie is indeed a party. It is a blast. It is
It's
about
silly.
it's about as much fun as you can have in the 80s with your clothes on. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, and there is no nudity in it.
Right?
Strangely, for a follow-up to Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah. We'll be talking about that one next time. Be sure to follow us on all the social media outlets. You can follow us on the Instagrams, all that jazz. Find all those links using our Linktree page, which can also take you to our Patreon page.
That's right. Patreon.com/Dead and Lovely. Head on over there and get your Patreon submission in if you're a $5 patron, because we're going to be doing that Smoke and Bowl drawing real soon here. And also, we're going to have a Critters Hell Rankers coming out this month. So if you become a patron on any level, you get access to that.
There you go.
I am excited to do this Critters Hell Rankers, and was excited while doing some research for Return of the Living Dead to find out there are 5 Return of the Living Deads, so we can do that on Hell Rankers as well. Awesome.
Damn, man. Well, don't delay. Sign up today over there on the Patreon page. And I'll tell you what, dude. I'm glad that we took that wizard quiz, that magician quiz that we did earlier. That was really entertaining.
Yep.
I wonder how it would stack up to my other idea that I had for Preview Palace. Do you want to hear about this?
Okay, let's hear it.
The segment was going to be about the most fuckable dummies, and we were going to call it Dummy or Cummy.
Okay. That's great. So
it's pretty good.
For a future horror movie with a dummy in it, like if we do Dead Silence, we'll do Dummy or Cummy. Dummy
or Cummy. Would you fuck that dummy? That's the whole premise.
Great. I love it.
Now, well, you have to tune in later to find out about those answers. So, in the meantime, I'll be Uncle Ben.
I'll be Hollywood Steve.
We've been Dead and Lovely.
Brr. Okay, Ben. So we've been watching all these Western horror movies over there on the Legacy of Brutality. That's right. That's what they say. That's what they say in them. And a whole lot of them have vampires.
Oh.
And we had this idea the other night. What if you had some silver miners who captured vampires and used them to find silver?
Oh, they're like a divining rod.
Yeah. It's kind of like in the John Carpenter's Vampires universe where everybody knows vampires exist, kind of.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a thing,
Yeah, so James Woods and his pals have captured some vampires and they decide to resurrect an old silver mine.
I like the idea of that because I'm thinking about these rough and tumble cowboy types, old pioneer prospectors. And they got them some Edward Cullens captured up.
Okay, yeah.
And they take them down there in the mine and they just kind of mash their face up against a rock and they're like, "What you think of that, and vamp?
What you think of that?
What you think? You burning? What do you think?" It's just a rock. Oh,
I'm sapped of energy. Dig here, boys.
I can't think of a much worse place to go to if you were a vampire, because the Old West, in the Westerns and shit, it's always so bright and sunny. That seems like a terrible place for a vampire.
Let me tell you something about the movie Billy the Kid versus Dracula, and where Dracula hides out. An abandoned silver mine.
That's, again, this seems like this will only weaken him,
Right? Come on, Dracula.
What?
You can't be that dumb.
Oh, man.